just trampled that lady. They just fully trampled that lady. They just fully trampled that lady. There's the lady. There's the lady that was trampled. Yeah, the lady got fully trampled by the horse. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? Just got touched by a horse.
There's another one.
That's a wounded man.
And as you can see, I'm gonna rewind this real quick. Basically, they were beating me with the stock of the rifle. And you heard them make the statement, you don't have to hit him like that. So, you get the book of Isaiah. It talks about the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, verse 4, I believe. It talks about a cruel king. This is the book of Isaiah 19 and 4. And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, the Lord of hosts. So the modern day Egyptian is you Babylonians, you Americans, Egyptians, aka Babylonians. You are the modern day Egyptians, and the cruel king, or the fierce king, or the cruel lord is these modern day Edomites, these bankers, these international bankers that control this society. They are that fierce king. But ultimately, it talks about a cruel lord is ultimately referring to Yahushua Mashiach. I watched the elder Apostle Tahar break this down, and he was saying how basically when you go into the book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 9, it tells you, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh Bashim shall come up cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So ultimately, you know, being that this is all the will of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, even the MOTB, you know, because you know, Esau Edom thinks it's his plan, his plot, his idea, but it tells you in scripture that the Most High directed the steps of men. There's other scriptures that prove that you don't really do things of your own free will. It tells you how the Most High ordered your instruction while you sleep. I believe in the book of Job. So, saying all that to say this is ultimately because, you know, I started off with that Daniel 4:17, that the Most High ruler from the kingdom of man and give it to whomever he will, and the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So, you know, basically because this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because ultimately this is a test for the Lord's elect and hopeful elect. You know, you don't know if you're the elect until after you beamed up on that chariot, or, you know, you come back in that new body. You know, it tells you the dead in Yahweh shall be raised first. So when you're presented with that new body or you beamed up, saying all that to say this, you know, the cruelty that's coming to the world, because it tells you in the book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 12, that basically the devil shall come down with great wrath. And what you're seeing happening in Canada is basically coming to a city near you. You know, this coming to America. The lockdown, the restrictions, the things that went on in China. See, I was just listening to this guy. He has a channel called Days of Noah, and he's an intelligent man. You know, I think to a degree he listens to us. I mean, I believe he thinks he a wacky-tacky Christian, but he brings out a lot of decent, he's a researcher, and that's what I respect about him. But, you know, he made a statement. He said, you know, what they did in China, you can't really do in America because of the fact of America is a heavily armed population. You get what I'm saying? China, they're not allowed to have guns, just like Australia. That's why you had certain things that happen in Australia and China than you did in America, because they can't just afford to go door to door, because you got people already standing up now and they're armed. So they're gonna have to do some kind of, they do these mind psyops. You know, um, go check out the Travis Stock Institute. I remember before they actually even start jabbing people, brothers was actually researching that. And talking about Travis Stock was the institute that actually came up with the idea to pay people to actually, in order to get jabbed. And then you got people that was getting them little stimulus checks, and they so like just lost for real that they like willing to go along with anything, hoping to get it. They hoping for another stimulus check. Like, you not getting no more stimulus checks. Like, these people really setting you up for the ultimately like death stroke, because, if you actually paying attention to what's going on in the world, like they're controlling the supply chain. They broke it and they controlling food. So one day people gonna look up to try and go get food and you ain't gonna be able to. They that guy Klaus Schwab, that fucking demon said, he said, you will own nothing and be happy. And they conditioning the people for that. But like I said, when you understand that the fact that all this is the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you'll understand that, Esau Edom was put in his position. It's a term used that Esau Edom uses called manifest destiny. They understand that it was divinely set up for them to actually rule. That's why when you go through history and actually figure out, you'll see like how Achilles was. Achilles was not able to be harmed because he was the greatest warrior. And the only way he could be harmed was in Achilles' heel. If you ever seen the movie Troy. So this book of Romans chapter 13, verse, I'm going to start at 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. So that goes into Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, because the Most High set it up that way. It said let every soul be under subjection, because the Most High put who in charge of whom. Every nation had a chance to rule. Now, the thing is, you supposed to follow the laws of the land, but you actually supposed to follow the laws of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So, you're going to follow Esau. And the crazy part is you'll have a nigga follow Esau laws, but will break the Heavenly Fathers left and right every day. Now, the thing is this. You follow the laws of the land until literally they come against the scriptures, which they're about to do now. Like, they're trying to outlaw the scriptures. That's how you need to know the time you in and what kind of world you live in, this present evil world. We live in a world where literally you got grown men that can actually, come on, they're promoting pedophilia. Y'all people forgot about that Pizzagate shit. And that ain't the first time that these Edomites got caught up in positions where, go look up the Franklin cover-up. They basically, the Pizzagate was a little bit more milder than the Franklin cover-up. They tunneled a whole tunnel up under the fucking school. It was taking the kids right out of the school. Verse 4, for he's the minister, and this is just all going into Esau Edom. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinances of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. And that's one of the reasons why, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, West Indians, and Haitians that are over in this land of Babylon are judged the way you judge. I remember the one year, was that like the year before, like 2020, what they had like 4, 5, 6, all these different incidents of Jake getting shot down left and right. I can't think of every name. What's that one lady that worked for like the paramedics or something like that they came into her house and shot her to death? And they set up by the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's why it talks about like I ain't gonna get too deep on it. But the point is, that's why this man is in power, and it seems like you just can't do anything about it because of the fact that the Most High is with him to a degree. But you seeing his power structure and his system crumble in your face. They're trying to hold it together, but it tells you that in the book of Job, I believe that every kingdom has a allotted time to rule. Verse 4, for he's the minister of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai to thee for good, but if thou do that which is evil, be afraid, for he beareth not the sword in vain. For he is the minister of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. And that's why a lot of those Jakes that get judged harshly, like what's that one Jake that got shot in the back by Esau Edom? And I forgot, I think it was Biden, or it was either Biden or Trump that went and met him at the hospital and whatnot. They said he basically went to his car and basically tried to go get a knife, but he didn't have a knife in his hand when they did the shit. Jake get judged here left and right. Jake life is cheap here. And yet still got a nigga that want to hold on to this shit. So, I'm going to get this, because ain't no point even getting Romans, Isaiah chapter 10, woe to them that decree righteous decrees, But showing you something, though, I just quoted it, but showing you something like peaceful protest should be, you're supposed to be allowed to peacefully protest your ideas, what you object to. We live in a country that a person could choose to be a homosexual, a person could choose to be against homosexuality. Now, what they're doing in Canada, literally, they're peacefully protesting. And you literally saw how the police trampled over those peaceful protesters, beating the shit out of them. This is going on. I seen videos where they basically confiscating their fuel, because the reason why and how those truckers are protesting is basically they can afford not to work and just drive around the country because you got other people supporting that shit. Like how you had George Soros that was paying for all those bricks at the Black Lives Matter basically protest. George Soros was doing like a lot of shit. Like, you can go look this up. It's called Crowds on Demand. You got a agency, a business that's actually, if I had $1 million and I wanted to go hire people to go protest for something I believed in, I got a company you can go through called Crowds on Demand that people with money finance to go get a lot of these people, because a lot of these people that are at these protests are called paid provocateurs, agitators. That's why you had in the midst of the Black Lives Matter, when you had people peacefully protesting, you had people that was actually creating havoc, because you got people that was paid to do that because they want a certain outcome out of this. And to show you how foolish Jakey is, I remember when they had the riot down here, and literally you had the nigga woman down there with her fucking kids. That's what we tell women being out on the highways and hedges when we bring out the word that that's no place for a woman, because anything can happen out there. Like I say, you've been to a bar, you done seen fights. So what happens? We've had niggas pull pistols, niggas pull knives. I've seen a nigga out of his mind with so many demons on him. It's 10 brothers and one nigga. And the thing is this. Y'all believe white boy Jesus that he just wants you to punch you in the face and then you just walk away. That's not, you taking that out of context. Because the scriptures say, forgive your brother. Turn the cheek to your brother. Y'all forget about the Most High God that told the Israelites to go into the land of Canaan and kill every fucking thing in there. I got one for you. The Messiah told, when Peter cut that man's ear off, that soldier's ear, how do you think he got the sword? When you go read, I forgot what script, I think it's in the book of Luke. The Messiah is the one that told him to go get the sword. That's how he had the sword to cut off his ear. So you have the right to defend yourself, because only a crazy person to do a Martin Luther King. Hey, I always thought about that protest and the whole situation what Martin Luther King did. Out of all the people that's getting their ass beaten and sprayed with water hoses and all that shit, you never heard of Martin Luther King getting it. He was too busy kicking it with the Rothschilds. Go look that shit up. It's pictures. I ain't just talking out the side of my fucking neck. This is factual. Martin Luther King was funded by the Rothschilds. So, the days we coming in. What, baby? So, what's coming is a lot of cruelty. And, Biden even made that statement. He recently just said, basically, something along the lines of how people are going to suffer. It's going to be painful. Because what's going on between Russia and America and Ukraine. You know, people think that America is just this beautiful, what's that word, loving place that just want everybody to be on the same level. You got to be a fucking fool to believe that. You still, I mean, I know I have. We in 2022 and you still experiencing racism to this day. I work at a job, this fucking cracker, Peckerwood, bitch ass, faggot ass motherfucker got a truck talking about Black Lives Matter. And basically saying, a dog equates to the life of a nigga. Now, I don't support Black Lives Matter. I don't consider myself black. Nobody is black. You different shades of brown, just like nobody's white. They different shades of red and pink. Because everybody got some kind of color. The reason why we're called humans, because when you go into hue meaning color, and the Edomite is the most base man because he lacks melanin. Well, he doesn't have, he has melanin. He doesn't have the amount of melanin that everybody else has. Because that's a curse upon him. And they all go back to the scriptures. But Salakia for digressing, basically we come into the time of Revelations 12 and 12. So, and you seeing it with your, firsthand view. So this is Salakia, 2nd Ezra chapter 16. I'm going to get straight to the point. Second Ezra 16 and 67. Behold, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua himself is the judge. Fear him. Leave off from your sins and forget your iniquities to meddle no more with them forever. So shall Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua lead you forth and deliver you from all your trouble. So now is the time to be getting right. I mean, like literally, this is out here for people to see, and you got people still stuck on them fucking selves. But it tells you in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 about how people were going to be in the last days. Vain, scoffers, lovers of pleasures than more than lovers of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got people that don't even believe in the Most High God showing you how foolish a person is when literally things in the scriptures is taking place right before our eyes. Verse 68, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols. And that main idol will be what shit? When you go into that jab, that CV, that's an idol. Because you got people believing that fucking shit gonna save you. Not knowing that you just compromised your fucking self. You just took some shit that they don't even know what the fuck is gonna do to you. You like off of I Am Legend. And you know what they say? They say they cure cancer, and basically all those vampires and zombie things, whatever the fuck them creatures was, them was the people that took that shit. This shit straight out of a movie. Only in real life though. It say, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision. Those that agreed upon it is gonna be had in derision. They're gonna feel foolish. And they reproach and trodden underfoot. And you just saw them fucking devils trotting them people under the foot. And damn, I can't think of the name of what the, yeah, I'm tired. But, the hooves of them horses, the hooves, called Loyim Layah Bashim Yahshua. You watch them get trampled under the hooves of those horses. Verse 70, for there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord Yahweh. So you seeing an insurrection where basically, because they try to do it to a degree, but from what I heard, the sources that I checked into, they say basically, I think they try to get the FBI involved or the military or somebody, and they was like, no, they didn't want to deal with it. And that's the reason why they're going to use foreign troops. Because at the end of the day, that's why a lot of governments, when war starts, they don't want the war to happen in their country. They want to actually have it take place in another country. Because basically, you don't give a fuck about the citizens of another country. So when you go into the UN, the United Nations, people think that's just such a great thing. Go in, listen to what the UN do to the different troops. Not troops, but the different countries and whatnot. You got these conglomeration of nations all together that, this big ass just beast system. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So it's about to be, and this ties hand in hand with Revelations 12 and 12. Coming down, Shaitan coming down with great wrath on the believers. Verse 72, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. And so meaning persecution gonna come. And brothers that's in this thing, even the people that's not in the truth, because the Bible is a book of truth, but it's your doctrine that makes it untrue. I mean, to show you how cold Christianity is and how much of a spell and witchcraft that shit is, literally, you will hear a pastor say one thing, but literally, the Bible will say another. Take the time to really consider that. When you go into the scriptures and really study it, you will hear how the Messiah had a particular doctrine. People say the Messiah is all love. If he was all love, he would be like Gandhi or Martin Luther King, right? Everybody loved Martin Luther King even after he dead, right? But they hated the Messiah to the point that they put him to death based on what he was saying. This is a man that was healing people, getting people, you know what I mean? So it couldn't have been exactly like how they portray it to be, right? Verse 74, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. And that's going into the true believers. Now, trust me, the scriptures talk about in the book of Revelation that, some going to be delivered onto prison. Some going to be put to death for the word of the Lord. But whatever your lot is, the Lord, if he's dealing with you, he's going to put a spirit on you to be able to deal with that. Look at Stephen. Stephen was so in the spirit, they stoned him to death. You got to take the time to really sit back and meditate on that. Like, I've seen people get fucked up in life, right? It's an easier death to, probably get shot. But to get stoned to death, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is a slow, agonizing death. And probably pretty much painful. But the scriptures just say he saw the Most High and Yahweh Shai sitting at his right-hand side. He was in the spirit. He was so much in the spirit that he said, and when you go into Acts 7, he cut them people to the point that they got so angry they killed him. It tells you in the book of Psalms that precious in the sight of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, who you people ignorantly call God and Jesus Christ, he says precious is the death of his saints in his eyes. Because you got people that's living for the world when this world ain't worth shit. When you realize, if you go do some research and realize what they trying to do, oh my God, you're going to be like, what the fuck? You got a stupid, silly nigga that probably trying to hold on. It talks about those that try to hold on to their life and going to lose it, and those that lose their life for the Most High God's sake is going to find it or be given everlasting life. When you understand, like the brother brought out a simple analogy. He said, if you ever been to a real basketball game, real boxing match, anything in person, it's a totally different experience than watching it on TV. These motherfuckers talking about making a metaverse where you live in a video game. Like Ready Player One type shit. So yeah, the men of the Lord are going to be tested just like, the 2/3 going to get tested in the heathen. But the difference between the men of the Lord is we have faith and hope in something besides ourselves in this fucked up ass world. And I'm going to end it on this. Book of Proverbs. Chapter 11. Point is verse 8. I'm going to start at verse 4. Proverbs 11 and 4. Riches profit not in the day of wrath, but righteousness deliver from death. The righteousness of the perfect shall direct his way, but the wicked shall fall by his own wickedness. Verse 6. The righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. And it tells you that in the scriptures, in the book of Revelations, I believe the last chapter, it tells you when Yahweh Shai Mashiach, who you people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, but his name is Yahweh Shai Mashiach in the Hebrew, he literally coming back with a reward. Now, people don't understand what the meaning of a reward is. Reward goes into recompense, meaning a payment. And a payment always doesn't have to be a good thing. If you're getting judged, you can get a righteous payment, or you can get a payment for a wicked individual, which could be death. It says, the righteousness of the upright shall deliver them, but the transgressors shall be taken in their own naughtiness. When a wicked man dieth, his expectations shall perish, and the hope of unjust men perisheth. The righteous is delivered out of trouble, and the wicked cometh in his stead. So the righteous will be delivered out of trouble. The last scripture I'm going to get is Psalms chapter 41. I think verse 2. This is Psalms 41. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, to the chief musician, the Psalm of David. Verse 1, Psalms 41:1. Blessed is he that considereth the poor. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will deliver him in time of trouble. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will preserve him and keep him alive, and he shall be blessed upon the earth, and thou wilt not deliver him to the will of his enemies. So you're going to have men that's going to completely, men, women, the elect, they families that have pleased the Lord, that the Lord got it allotted for to escape this. They're not even going to see this. But you're going to have men that's going to have to go through this and overcome it. That's why in the book of Revelation chapter 2, it talks about, to him that overcometh, him will I put as a ruler of nations, roughly paraphrased. I'm not going to get it, but I know it's in Revelation chapter 2. So some men, lot is to have to overcome. And that's why the brother's been in the spirit of talking about you have to have a champion mindset. Because champion mindsets mean to overcome. They have an overcoming thinking. You got to remember, when a person wins a championship, that means they overcame all them teams or all those obstacles or all them individuals to be the one that conquered it, to overcome. It talks about be a good cheer, for Yahweh Shai, our big brother, have conquered the world. And we walk in his path because he navigated this life to be able to move through this world without sinning. The only man that died not deserving of death. Because he didn't transgress the law in this lifetime. So he gave us the blueprint on how to move to actually find favor and from the coming judgment. Because judgment coming regardless if you a 2/3 nigga, that just if you a Boosie Kodak Black type of nigga, or if you a righteous man and trying to not live in the world, judgment coming regardless. The difference is you're going to have niggas that's in the world going to be focused on nigga shit, like the book of Genesis talk about how in the days of Noah, people were eating and drinking. You're going to have that same thing happening when it happens again. And it tells you that in the scriptures. It's going to be the same thing when the coming the Son of Man come. But we pray that we're not touched, or we are protected in that day. That we are covered. So if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole, Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. The Most High God is going to kill you. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory. Or something more horrible. He might preserve you and literally make you have to see them ICBMs drop. And that's even more horrible than, to be living in a society that you think is going on, and then to watch and look up one day and see these motherfucking missiles come. So with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Racha Kodash Barakatam. Double honors to the apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and the freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwat and the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, which appear like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. Until next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Wa Shalom.